Haley J here at Dollylocks Salon, downtown St. Pete. I'm with owner Alin. So tell me about your start in New York. That's not easy, opening a business, much less making another one in St. Pete. How did it all become reality for you?
Well, actually, I grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska, and that's where I obtained my cosmetology license. I ended up moving to New York City just to find myself, really. You know, everyone wants to move to New York and make something great of themselves. So I moved there, and I had a background in interior design, so I ended up doing...
That shows. I see that.
I ended up working for a few larger companies in New York City doing window displays and interior displays, and eventually found myself in a salon, and the owner that I was working with happened to have a connection with so I really was interested in hair extensions, and at the time the only hair extensions that were out there were fusion.
Oh, I remember the stages of trying to find a good hair extension. It's amazing how much you can build your confidence just by having it. Sounds silly, almost being like, oh, longer hair will make me feel better about myself, but it really does.
Yeah.
Did you want extensions yourself? Is that how you got so into it?
No, I love doing hair, and I always loved the art and the craft of hair, so I wanted to expand my knowledge and to be able to provide more services to my clients. And the only method that we provided at the salon that I was working at was fusion, which is, you know, they have like hot and cold, it's glue. What it boils down to is it's basically glue. And that's not what I want to do. I don't want to glue hair on hair. I want to create and develop a hair piece. And I was introduced to another hairdresser that lived in, she actually lived in Minneapolis, and she traveled to New York City a lot, and she did a method called pinch braids, and I really wanted to learn pinch braids, and I was already learning how to do like a traditional weave in hair, because I love doing, you know, like the traditional cornrow with the weave, and, you know, making, you know, a hair sculpture really, and the pinch braids just kind of went along with that. And she happened to know, she developed then was called a dread perm, which we've evolved into a dreadlocking system where it's an organic based system, and our systems are completely different, but that's how I got into the dreadlocks. And at the time I was dating someone that had dreadlocks, and I just knew that there was a better way of
there has to be a better way to not have this smell bad.
Yeah.
So we see the finish line. You made it here of where you wanted to be, but there's always bumps in the road. What were some of the challenges you faced getting to this point?
Oh my gosh. It's hard to say because there's so many challenges in life, but I think that a challenge is only something that helps you to evolve and grow in the long run. And I've opened probably 6 salons in my career. It's just something that I love to do, and I love to inspire. I love to work with other hairdressers. I love, just bringing the community together of hairdressers where we can create and conspire together to just make really cool hair.
Just educate and keep learning, and
I love education.
Different ideas bouncing off.
Absolutely.
It's always the best being with like-minded people, and then you just see the ideas flow, and you can create amazing things. So for someone who wants to be you, what would you tell them?
I don't get
good luck. Any good advice?
I'm sorry. No, really, what it boils down to.
Funny. It'll be a long ride.
Good luck to you, friend. Really what it boils down to is I'm an artist and I'm an entrepreneur. Those are the 2 things that I've always been ever since I was a little girl. I love to create, I love to build. And the males in my family have all been in a construction background. And for me, you can't take one person and clone them into someone else. So what I like to do, because I know everyone's different, everyone learns differently, and everyone creates differently. So for me, I would never want anyone to put themselves into my shoes. That's why I like to work with individuals. So anyone that reached out to me and would want to learn what I know, I'm so happy to teach it. Because for me, it's not about competition, it's not about greed, it's not about me taking over the world. What it's really about is it's about the community, and it's about if I couldn't get to you and to help you with your hair, I would want someone else to be able to provide that to you. So that's where education comes in.
I love that support you give off. What was your support system like when you were, did you have anyone that was against you? You said your family was in construction. Did they ever say, what are you doing?
Not really. I mean, all of my siblings, they all got in a little bit of trouble, and they were wild children, and it's funny because I saw my parents struggle sometimes, with just keeping the kids in line, and I felt for them. So I've always been really compassionate and understanding, even as a child and growing up. So for me, I just I like to keep the peace, and I like to help, and I like
to spread the love.
I do. It sounds silly, but it's true.
No, it doesn't. It's inspiring. It really is.
It's really true.
And it's kind of sad that we don't find many people like that anymore, where we do live in such a competitive world. Everyone has to be the best. There is enough room for all of us to be successful. We can help each other. Well, thank you so much. Once again, we are at Dollylocks Salon, downtown St. Pete. I'm Haley J with Alin.
Yay, thanks.
Boom.